over to you.
Hi, everybody. Girls, women, ladies, my homies, my boos. How are you doing? Have you all gotten your PMS along? I mean, have you gotten your periods along? Have you gotten your womb stories along? Have you gotten your girlfriends along? Have you gotten your peri-menopause along? Have you gotten your menopause along? Have you gotten your post-menopause along? Have you gotten your postpartum depression along? Have you all gotten all of it? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a, let's see what choices we have for reactions. Oh, we have quite a few.
Yeah, thumbs up on Zoom, laughing face on Zoom, yes on, with the virtual emoticon, and of course, you can type it in the Zoom chat as well.
Fantastic, fantastic. Because, April is so feminine, and not just feminine, but very young feminine. Aprils come with the energy of like a nymph, like a sprite, like a very nubile, very lit, very slender, very easy, very fun, very good cheer, let's have a good time energy. And in any case, we were going to be doing this call, and we were going to be doing it around perimenopause, we were going to be doing it around menopause. And then because of the youngness, and also because if you read your email or you've read the post that Nishi has been sharing, the thing that goes on with perimenopause and menopause is identical to what goes on with PMS and our period cycles. And PMS and period cycles, of course, we get our periods in perimenopause as well. But I am harking back to PMS like 20 years back, like when we were in our 20s, when we were in our 30s. Like everything is a pattern and everything becomes louder. The same is true for our PMS and periods as well. If you are already in perimenopause, or you are very close to menopause, or you're already in menopause, if you will just look back and see how your PMS days were. So PMS is, I don't think I have to explain to anybody, but I'm just going to say it very quickly. So PMS is the preparatory time for your period. PMS actually comes to tell you, listen, your periods are around the corner, adjust your life. Do what you have to do, make place for these 2, 3, 4, and you can have your periods up to a week. That is going to happen right now. And we can have all kinds of symptoms in PMS. We can have, tender, swollen breasts. We can have lower back pain. We can have tight thighs. We can just feel terribly exhausted. We can be cranky. We can be irritable. We can be weepy. We can be emotional. We can be nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody understands me. Whatever has been showing up in your PMS and how your period cycles have been is exactly what is happening around perimenopause and menopause. So perimenopause, and peri, by the way, means around, and meno comes from, I think, the Greek or Latin word for moon, but where we are concerned, men means men. I'm going to come to that. Where perimenopause is the PMS of the menopause. And like your periods, healthy periods, right? Your period is not getting over in a day. Your PMS comes, your period comes, and perimenopause comes, and menopause comes. Perimenopause also takes some time. Menopause also takes some time. And then there is the post-menopause. And beyond post-menopause, you can menopause again in another decade or two. This is something that's not really spoken about, because the only understanding, I shouldn't say only, that is incorrect. I take it back. Maximum amount of understanding around our bodies is Western medicine, right? And some of it is a little cultural. Maybe we had sympathetic mothers, maybe we had sympathetic sisters. Like in my family, Neelu, my mother, all we really have to say is I've got my periods and everybody's going to back off. Like everybody's just going to let us be. Like I'm not feeling so great, then my mom, if I'm there, then my mom will say, Usko kuch mat bolna abhi, let's just do this. Meaning, don't trouble her today. So if you add a sympathetic environment, there will be some sense of what's going on in the body, that it's a natural process, that there is support for it. But because the maximum amount of conversation around PMS and period and perimenopause and menopause and childbirth and postpartum depression is very technical, right? It's very scientific. It's very Western medicine, that we've not really looked at the deep messages and the spiritual significance of this particular time in our lives. At least from this April onwards, we're going to change that conversation a bit. We're also doing this in the year of 2022, which is the year of Venus. And Venus she is all things beautiful and feminine. She is like the ultimate girl. So the fact that there is a feminine month in a feminine year means something is definitely going to show up for us. For example, what do you think makes a woman? Like, what is this thing about woman? What is the difference between men and women? Tell me. Because I want to say 5 things, I'm already jumping. But you all tell me. Think about it for a couple of seconds. What's the difference between men and women? What's the thing that makes you girl? What's the thing that makes you woman? And by the way, whether I say girl and you're a woman, it's still you. And whether I say woman and you're a girl, it's still you. Body parts, yes. Girly parts, for sure. We have very, very significant physical differences, right? Which is why we were called the weaker sex, because we have more fat than muscle, and men have more muscle than fat. And we also have very soft body parts, right? Our chest is very soft, it's very tender, it's very gentle. Our lower abdomen, meant to be a lap for our sisters, our brothers, our children, our husbands, our lovers, our friends, our boyfriends, our girlfriends. Also very soft areas, right? Unless we have been completely dedicated to working out, being on protein diets, making sure that we have quite a bit of weight building, it's not weight building, as in weight training, we are mostly soft. So for sure, body parts as well as the kind of body. Menstrual cycle, absolutely. It's the one thing that men don't have. Like even men can get soft chests, right? Especially older men, and especially men who've also been athletes or who've been sports people and they let themselves go. Right? They also start developing all kinds of slightly female parts, like as they grow a little older. But they can't menstruate. They cannot have children. This presence of the womb is the one big difference between a man and a woman. And it's not that men don't have a sacral. Women, we all know this, right? Our womb is in our sacral. Sacral is 3 fingers below our belly button. We all know this? Yes? Hands up, please. Okay. Although we're going to be doing more calls in May and June, and I am going to do some amount of biology. So this much at least is clear, that the womb is only in the woman. Men's sacral is in the shape of a womb, but there is no physical womb. And this womb makes us who we are. The womb makes us want to have a family. The womb makes us want to choose the partner who we think we will be happy having children with. The womb makes us want to be mothers ultimately. The womb also makes us physically the women, because most of our hormone cycle is based around the ovaries, the uterus, as well as the adrenals. I will leave biology for next call, but most of our ovaries, which is primarily estrogen, progesterone. What I meant by leave biology for later means details of biology I will leave for later. Just some terminology here. Estrogen, progesterone. We also have testosterone. And this is the biggest difference why I couldn't have men on this call. Because women, as we go from our first cycle to our last cycle, and then beyond that, I'm going to tell you how we have cycles, because the menstruation stops physically, but not energetically. From our first physical cycle to our last physical cycle, estrogen, progesterone have been doing their hormone dance. Sometimes they collapse. Sometimes they are just partners with two left feet, and which is when we have hormonal imbalance. But for the most part, they do a nasty, mean, lean tango. And testosterone plays a little bit of a role. Here it plays a role, there it plays a role, little muscle build-up, little energy. As we get to our menstruation ending physically, estrogen is coming down, progesterone is coming down. Guess who's going up? Testosterone is going up. It's the reverse for men. For men, testosterone is going down, estrogen is going up. What do they say about that? Old lions lose their teeth. Right? Because at 80, that lion is not supposed to be hunting. He is supposed to be doing other things. He is supposed to be going into the forest and meditate. His son is supposed to be doing the hunting. And this difference between us and men, which has to do with our womb, which also has to do with how we age, because women tell me this. How many women look good in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? And how many men look good in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s? Please tell me. Let me know that you have observed this. Like my mother is such a pretty woman, always well turned out, always, she's always immaculate. We had this late night family call just the other day, and I knew it was their bedtime, but it's a family call. Family call meaning when we have a birthday in the family, there's like 6 to 8 of us, we get together and we catch up, all of that. All of us ready, rubbing our eyes, top is falling off from one side, wearing our t-shirt, wearing our kaftan. My mother, absolutely well turned out, her pearl earrings in place, her tiger's eye bracelet necklace in place, her lipstick perfect. She is amazing. There is never a call where as the family members, we always acknowledge that you're always so well turned out. And then she let us into the secret. She said, actually, this is my pajama top, but yeah, I put everything else together. My mother will go immaculately dressed to pick up bread. How many men? So Pinky says, men look good than women. What are you saying? Which men are these? Where are these men? Where are they hiding?
She might be referring to George Clooney. So let's leave that aside. And or even Tom Cruise. Thank you. Aparna has said, though, Nidhu, that all Nidhulettes look good at any age.
What has Aparna said?
All Nidhulettes look good at any age.
Absolutely. Please take that for granted. We can write that, and it will be true. And we can remind each other of that as well. I will always be true. I have the most beautiful women on the planet in my groups. That's just how it is. Yes, I was looking forward to Top Gun 3, Top Gun 2, Maverick, right? It's called. And Neelu's always been a Tom Cruise fan, so I know that she is. But yeah, looking forward to that. I think he's done so amazing, and I can feel myself digressing. What was I saying, my darlings?
You were wondering which men.
Where are these men? Yeah, where are they hiding? Because men don't hide. You know, one of the other differences between men and women is that women need validation. So they will seek a sense of security. They will seek a sense of comfort. They will seek a sense of reassurance. Women always need validation. Men always need importance. So men will seek that out. When men make money, you will know because they have a new car. When a woman makes money, you may or may not know. You may pick up on it in slight ways, but a woman does not need to flaunt her wealth. Of course, unless you're in the multi-millionaire, billionaire bracket, in which case you're leading a certain kind of lifestyle. But most of us have money, we are wealthy. But you will not look at us and say, they are wealthy. But if you look at a man, you will always know whether he's wealthy or not. And one of the other things that's very different between men and women, and which is something that I deal with quite a bit at work, like my COO, he's male, right? So when we have to like do work, for me, it is, hey, I've got FHTJ coming up, we've got the Mystic Lotus Tele Summit coming up, and we've got these products coming up, and we've got the website coming up, and then we've got to hire these new people coming up. I will say, hang on, can we take this one at a time? And at that point, the first thing that really crosses my mind is, have you had lunch? Because women can do this. Women can keep their eye on their dog, on their child, on the laundry guy, on the water boiling, on the pot. You give this to a man, he is going to have a nervous breakdown. Fundamentally, men are simpler and more functional. Like, can you give this to me? Can you write this for me one after the other? I go through this with one of my designers is also male. So if I tell him, okay, is this over? Is this done? And what about that? He'll say, can you please write this down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This as well becomes very different as far as conversation and understanding goes for a man. Because you see, as his testosterone is coming down and his estrogen and progesterone is going up, and he's wondering about all of these feelings he's having and all the ways that he's feeling insecure and old and having no teeth, is a little different from how the woman is going through this time. And not that we don't have our insecurity, because in the way that a woman needs validation, the first place a woman seeks validation is her body. The first place a man seeks validation is his power. And we've known this, right? This is what we've done in our relationships. We kowtow. We try and make the man feel important because we know this. It's millions and centuries of programming. But for us, therefore, coming to a period like perimenopause, where our body is not listening to us, even our hair doesn't listen to us. Every time there's a hormonal change in the body, your hair also changes. Not just dryness, but my hair became like tight curls at my base. Because I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And then for a little while, and I remembered that this was true also after I'd had Nikhil, my son, my hair like this, but straighter. Like it's suddenly hormonal changes in the skin. So it builds up, right? Because perimenopause is like PMS. It's not one day, but if you have done your PMS correct, you will have an amazing and very smooth perimenopause. And if your PMS has been done correct, 100% guaranteed your period cycle is no big deal. Neither will your menopause be. It begins there. And even though that you may be at a certain age, right? Because the evolution of a woman's life is this. First, she is baby. Then she is baby princess. Then she is teenage princess. Because even though we got our periods, the transition from child to adolescence has happened, not adulthood. A 15-year-old is not an adult. Neither is a 14-year-old, definitely not a 12-year-old. Some of us have had periods a little earlier. Some of us have had them at 10. We didn't become adults at 11. We entered puberty. And there are cultures, very few. In India, I remember I must have been 8 or 9, and I went for this function, and this woman was sitting on this swing-like apparatus, and there were people going up to her, and they were giving her these garlands. And down south, we have garlands made of a beautiful, beautiful, fragrant flower, which feels like plastic and paper, but it's not. I think it's called wood rose. So wood rose garlands and beautiful, beautiful pink rose garlands, jasmine garlands. People were giving her gifts. People were saying, bless you, God bless you. And I was there for the ice cream. It was amazing. And I remember going to a Parsi family. Parsis are the Indian Jews, going there and realizing much later in my life that this was a bat mitzvah, that it was a bar mitzvah. In northern India, I do not know of any such celebration. I don't know of any in eastern India as well. And I know that Spanish, right? Spain, Mexico, the quinceañera. So there is a celebration and an announcement to the world that my daughter has now entered puberty. And this comes from historic times where the woman got married by the time she was 16. Therefore, when she was ready to have children, she made her debut. She made her debut at a debut ball. Like, you didn't go to the debut ball at 8 years old. You went to the debut ball when you were ready to be seen by suitable families and suitors, because you were now of a marriageable fertile childbearing age. And this particular celebration that happens very limited and right now happening in very, very few communities, although there is one that the American Indians do. And this has to do with them recognizing and working with the earth goddess. So they have a beautiful ritual. And in May, after we do a little bit of biology, I want us to have a celebration. Wherever we are in our cycle. If you are girl, and I'm calling you woman, you're still a girl who's going to be a woman. And if you are woman, and I'm calling you girl, it's because you are still girl while being a woman. I know that none of us here have had a celebration of either that time or this time. So wherever you are in your cycle, on 6th May, which is the first Friday of May, we are going to have a party. And in this party, you are going to wear a crown, a tiara, a headpiece. You are going to get your wine, your cigar, your scotch, your whatever it is that you like and that you celebrate. A tub of Haagen-Dazs. Whatever it is, you are going to wear that tiara and that crown. We're going to get together and tell stories. We're going to tell each other about how it was for us. How was our period cycle? How was our childbirth? How was our perimenopause? If it's still going on, how was our menopause? If it's going on, how was it after menopause?
Give that a quick moment. I think there might have been some, there you are.
Yeah, so sorry. By the way, everybody, let's have some water. In the first part, I was talking to you about the evolution of us. First part, baby princess, teenage princess, adolescent princess. She steps out in the world. She finds somebody. She makes a home. She gets married. She has children. She becomes a queen. Immaterial of whether she was ever treated as a princess or ever treated as a queen. This is who she is. And then she works. She lives for her family. She caretakes. Maybe she goes to work. Maybe she doesn't. Her work is her home. Her children grow up. They're going to go to college. Her husband has been, however, he has been. There comes a point in a woman's life where you recognize that I haven't gotten back as much as I have given. My life has not gone the way I thought it would go. I want something more. I need something more. Over here, she may leave the husband. She may not leave the husband. But at this point, her next phase has begun. Princess, queen, and empress. Peri-menopause is that time of transition from queen to empress. You know, in our fairy tales, it was, and they lived happily ever after. Basically, the prince and princess lived happily ever after. King and queen lived happily ever after. Nobody ever speaks about the emperor and empress living happily ever after. Because at the empress level, the empress degree is a solitary one. How many empresses can you think of that were sitting with their emperor? You may think of even emperor. How many emperors can you think of that were sitting with their empress? But king with queen, prince with princess. The transition of this is me, this is my family, this is my community, this is my society, to all of it coming back inward to this solitary journey. And I'm saying solitary as coming from solitude, not lonely, not alone. And wherever you are, maybe you are at princess, maybe you are at queen, maybe you are transitioning into empress, not fully comfortable, still holding on to queen, still holding on to princess, because all those dreams also didn't come true. Wherever you are, we could all do with some amount of very young, very spring, very midsummer night magic. On our group, and perhaps in your email as well, there were these lists of magical beings. We had the phoenix, we had the dragon, we had the fairy, we had the unicorn, we had the mermaid. And each of these you would have felt a little called to. Because in times of change, whether you are at princess, whether you are at queen, whether you know that you've entered empress kingdom, but you've not fully owned the empressness, you're not fully empress yet, wherever you are, PMSing, period cycle, perimenopause, menopause, wherever you are, this amount of magic I saw had just such amazing reactions and results physically, mentally, emotionally. And this magic is twofold. One, what you think you need. I says, what is it? Whatever you were most attracted to. Some of y'all were more attracted to two things. Some of y'all were attracted to one thing. And the other is what these beings are doing for us anyway. When I share with you what a fairy comes for and what fairy magic can do, or what dragon magic can do, or what a phoenix is doing, and who they are meant for, you will see that there are 5 kinds of women, 5 kinds of princesses, 5 kinds of queens, 5 kinds of empresses. And now that I've introduced the word empress, on Monday, our Facebook group is going to be called Awakening the Empress Within. And again, whether you're a princess, whether you're a queen, if you are dealing with PMS, be here. Because the journey to empress cannot be overnight. Nobody ever ascended the throne without enormous training. Training in education, training in maths, training in archery, training in horse riding, training in sword fighting, training in astronomy, training in sciences, training in what to do when the queen comes over, knowing what your cutlery is. The training that is required to be an empress begins when you are princess, right? Now, as princess, you don't know this because nobody told you, girl, you're going to be a woman, you're going to be a queen, you're going to be an empress. Nobody told you that that is one of your life paths. And therefore, wherever you are, and perhaps you have already crossed into the Empress kingdom. The Empress kingdom is the kingdom where she has things and she is in charge. She is leader, but she knows that I've got to take care of this for myself. At the same time, she knows what she can delegate. Because just as we have 5 kinds of princesses and 5 kinds of queens and 5 kinds of empresses, we also have 3 of their shadows, because there is also the tale of the princess and her maid. And there is the queen and her handmaiden, not to be confused with the Handmaid's Tale. And there is the empress and the slave. When we do not own up to our crown and our tiara, when we don't keep our heels and standards high, then we fall into this other part. And I guarantee you, if you're dealing with PMS or have dealt with PMS, and you can see how there's a correlation and connection between what was happening in PMS and perimenopause, then that servant, handmaiden, slave, which is a complete rundown of your empressness, which is a complete rundown of your princesshood, it is going to be showing up in your perimenopause for sure. It will guarantee show up in your menopause. Perimenopause scientifically is meant to be for about 10 years. Menopause about 5 years to sometimes 7 years. But I am telling you, my darlings, that perimenopause need not be more than 4 to 5 years. Your menopause need not be more than 2 to 3 years, maybe even lesser. That you do not have to spend too much time on this. One of the first decrees on this one, even though you may be in perimenopause and your periods just have a mind of their own right now, they're coming, they're not coming, they're flowing, they're not flowing, they're in the mood, they're not in the mood, or you're menopaused, which is the periods are not coming, even then, 11 times with me, just say this and tell me what happens in the body. PMS, you can leave now. 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 How is it making you feel? Mostly, how is it making you feel in the lower half of your body? What's happening in your sacral? What is your uterus trying to say? What sensations, what reactions are coming up? And I see that somebody has written, thank you so much, Bianca. And she says, I feel like a phoenix most of my life. Now I feel more like a dragon. And thank you for mentioning that. At different points, we have had access to different magical realms. Each of these magical creatures are only what you need right now. 2 months later, you could need another one. 4 months later, it could be a completely different story. That, my God, I wasn't even connecting at all with this dragon energy. And now all I can think of is how attracted I am to this dragon. How did it make you feel to say, PMS, you can leave now? And let me know as well where you are in your cycle. Are you princess, which is you're getting your periods and you have PMS or don't have PMS? Are you queen, which is you have your cycle, but you have a family? Or are you empress? Or are you entering empress, which is You could be perimenopausal, you could be menopausal, or you are postmenopausal. So tell me how it is. Vas says lighter. Aparna says feel warm. Sorry, Anam says, Anam, what are you doing? Anam, are you a girl? What you're doing? But please correct me. Are you a girl? And Anam says, yes, okay. We're all good. Although, even if a guy has to say PMS, you can leave now, it will also have some reaction because the three primary hormones are the same for both of us: progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. By the way, PMS and perimenopause have the exact same drop and rise of hormones. Estrogen is falling, progesterone is falling. There's also something known as estrogen dominance, and I wish I could tell you that meant that we were becoming supergirls. It's not. But that in biology, before we have our party on the 6th, little bit of biology with estrogen predominance, understanding what estrogen is doing, what progesterone is doing, how the adrenals are creating cortisol, how that's taking over production of progesterone, and whether we need something to sort this out for us. Okay. Susan says, like a cool breeze. And Joanne says, entering Empress. And how did that make you feel when you said it? You're entering Empress. And Zoom user says, I don't want to lose my periods. I'm planning baby. That's awesome. You don't want to lose, you're not going to lose your periods, my darlings. What you're going to lose is painful, crampy, long PMSs. There are 4 kinds of periods. And one period is your regular happy period. Your PMS lasts a day or maybe on that day and some hours later, you get your periods. It does what it's supposed to do, which is just give you a hint and a signal that your period is on its way. The other one, which is dysmenorrhea. And dysmenorrhea is very long PMS cycles, very painful periods. You can't move, you can't do anything. You don't want to speak to anyone. You have no energy. Your tummy is cramping up. Your back is tight. You're just weepy. You're just cranky. Your hair looks odd. Your skin looks pale and drawn. It is one of the hardest periods. There is also oligomenorrhea. Oligomenorrhea does not have much PMS, but your period cycle is very light. It's too less. And amenorrhea, which is there is no period cycle. So there is very little PMS, but obviously that is one of the most dangerous things to happen for a woman. You want your period cycle, even if it's dysfunctional in dysmenorrhea. Shruti says, felt a stir in the lower abdomen, little giddy. I feel connected to the unicorn, phoenix, and dragon. I'm in perimenopause stage. Superb. Superb. Awesome. As in, good that you know that. Good that you're here. Good that you know these particular beings. When I share with you what each of them is bringing to our lives, I'm also going to share with you the particular category of body, emotion, that they are meant for. So you could be drawn, and I don't think I completed that bit, right? Right. So you could be drawn to one magical being, and the other being, when you look at the list of symptoms that I give you, you could say, okay, I do need this magic. So in a way, it's a kind of DIY prescription. So one, this is what I like. I'm so attracted to this. And this, oh, I do need this because these symptoms are matching what's going on in my life right now. On Monday till Friday, we're going to do the 5-day magical challenges, magical results challenges. Meaning, on each and every one of these days, because there is a day assigned to each of these magical creatures, we will be practicing a certain kind of decree. And by the way, there is a set of brand new decrees that I'm going to share with you all. Right now, I just want you to get familiar with the magical beings, and I just want you to see which ones are the ones that you do need. You know the ones you want, which are the ones that you need. So day number 1, Monday is dedicated to the phoenix. Do you like the phoenix? Are you attracted to the phoenix? Do you need the phoenix? And Shilpa, please let us know, as in on a slide here, as well as on our Telegram group, what is it that the phoenix does for us, and who is it that a phoenix is most supportive for at this time? And in the meantime, Nilu, will you please, I've lost a lot of the text, but Nilu, will you please just run through the text, or somebody, please help Nilu. Tell me, in which phase are most of us? Are we in the princess phase? Are we in the queen phase? Are we in the entering empress phase? Are we in the empress phase? And this, my lovelies, phoenix. Your phoenix message says, stop blame games and power struggles. Because the phoenix has to do with your connection to the universe. When we don't flow, fly, rebirth, our connection to the universe becomes a power struggle. I have seen phoenix show up for those who won't agree to what the message is. So for example, you want to settle down in New Zealand, and everything in the universe is sending you signs that you should do this in Australia. And that's what a power struggle is, where you get into a power struggle with what you want and what is being told, what it is that you are not getting. The phoenix can feel very disconnected and very distrustful. The phoenix always has a self-sabotage, because for the phoenix, the sense is, I have to do this on my own. I have to do this alone. Because I can't trust anybody, I can't ask for help. Are you needing the phoenix? Is this going on? Or do you just love the phoenix?
Nidhu, most people have written in their, few have written in saying queen, and a lot of people have written in saying entering empress or in empress. So we have all queens and empresses.
I love it. I love it. Is everybody saying yes to the 5-day magical results challenge? Because this is what I want. I want the queen. I want the empress. And
Dia's also said that she's an empress and her daughter is a princess, and she has very exhausting.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Super. Super. And I just want you to see how, in working through the PMS, we are going to be changing what's going on in our relationships, interpersonal relationships, internal relationship, because we can go into power struggles with ourselves, right? I want to do this, mind is saying all kinds of other things. The inner critic and we can get into this battle of the rams, right? Where you lock horns and you stay locked. And when you lock horns, there's this explosion in the world, in the forest, right? Like it's big battles. It's so fantastic that we have everybody in various stages, because when I give you some of the other decrees, and you will see, my lovelies, you will see how you are feeling right now, how your body is responding, how you're going to feel tomorrow morning, and what it's going to do to how you are reacting, responding. Because remember, you are here because you are ready for awakening the Empress within. Don't forget your tiara. You can start planning and imagining it. Shilpa, who's next? Who is coming up on Tuesday? Dragon. Yes, on Tuesday is the dragon. Now, dragons, my darlings, dragons look to fight. It was one of their primary functions when they started learning how to relate with human beings. They were part of our armies. And in fact, in the dragon world, some of us could have dragon blood. Some of us could be dragon mothers. Very rare, we are not rebirthing. We could be dragon generals. We could be dragon trainers. But the dragon and the human beings fought side by side. Therefore, a dragon is always prepared, number one, for a command, and number two, will look for a fight. If there is nobody to fight with, the dragon will fight with herself or himself. Are you this fighter? And as Empress, as Queen, for you, your magic power is that you have it in you to be a peaceful warrior. Peaceful warrior means I know which battles are worth my time. I'm going to digress for a moment here while you all read this. So the thing with testosterone, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting. Estrogen, progesterone going down, it does give rise to things, my darlings. It gives rise to insomnia. It gives rise to cracked skin. It gives rise to hair fall. It gives rise to crankiness. It gives rise to hot flashes. All of that is going on. But because the testosterone is rising, our ability to have muscle is rising. Our ability to be focused is rising. Our ability to plan and strategize is rising. Some of y'all may be thinking, I could multitask so much easily. Now I want that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because testosterone is about the planning, where you want to put it down on paper. The more you write things down as you transition, the better it will be. Success stories of women's body, especially in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I think there is somebody in her 80s out there. I forget her name. She's a Black woman. I will find it. We will share it on the Facebook group. And was it yoga? Was it something? But weight training is hugely recommended as we get older because we have the testosterone to change our bodies in a certain way. Of course, first you have to make sure that your bone strength is fine, because along with the insomnia and the hot flashes and the crankiness and the emotionalness and the visceral fat that's taking place in front of the body, and God knows what's going on with our hips, there is the possibility of osteoporosis and arthritis as well. I had bone loss and I had this visceral fat in the front of my belly. And bone loss, by the way, 2 months, some amount of calcium, tons of decrease, all good. So you just want to be a little careful, because I've had amazing PMS and very, very beautiful periods, but not my entire life. When I began with very painful PMS. I began with very heavy flows. I had dysmenorrhea. And I want to tell you, my darlings, of this magical homeopathic pill available over the counter. I don't know if it's available abroad, but it is available online. And it's from the company SBL, and it is called Dysmen. If you are in perimenopause and you are going through this up and down, because it's homeopathic, there will be no side effects. You try it for 1 month cycle and you tell me what happens. In that 1 month of Dysmen, like 20, 25 years ago, everything changed. And while the tablet says 4 pills 4 times a day, I was not regular. I was taking 2 now, 2 later, skipping a day. Dysmen, Dysmin. If your perimenopausal symptoms are severe, take the Dysmen. And you can try it just for that 1 month cycle. Take it without any expectations. If you want to consult your doctor, I have a feeling they will say no, but it's one of the gentlest medicines possible, and it will not harm. And I would love to know what happens and how you manage your perimenopause, because in the work we are doing to manage PMS from then, which will impact the perimenopause now, when you do something for the perimenopause now, it will impact the menopause. And menopause is when we are on the red carpet making our way to the Empress throne, even though we're going to show up with our crowns on 6th of May. Yes, please, thank you. Who's coming up on Friday? And basically for the dragons, you've got to stop fighting. You've got to find the right battle. You have got to find the correct war that's worthy of your planning and your good huge fire energies. Neelu, you were going to say something?
Yes, Nidhu, I noticed this question. It was, I think, asked earlier also. If Phoenix is a god, and it's come up again, Phoenix and Dragon both gods. I didn't catch the name because we have a screen share going on, but I know so I thought I'd just come in and tell you this question has come up. So if you'd like to address it.
Are you asking if they are gods?
Somebody has asked on the chat.
No.
Is Phoenix a god? Is Phoenix and Dragon a god? So
no, they're not. They are phoenixes. They are dragons. There have been many Earths before this. We know this Earth from this particular Big Bang, which we date back to how many? 6 million years. But there have been many Earths. Consciousness is forever. The one creator has no beginning and no ending. And in the many, many Earths, we have had all of these walk on Earth. We have had Greek gods walk the Earth. So when I say dragon, phoenix, I am speaking of a realm and a time that has already happened and gone by, but they are here with us. They are accessible to us. Like I'm going to be bringing up centaurs. And centaurs have a very bad reputation in the magical, mystical world. Centaurs are the bad boys. They drink, they curse, they fight, they will drag other women's wives. They have a terrible reputation. But the centaurs that I have seen, so there's a body of work that I do called Jupiter's Decrees, and we have a Jupiter's Decrees certification course. And in this, a very important dimension that we visit and become very familiar with is the enchanted forest. And in the enchanted forest, we do a lot of things as part of Jupiter's work. In the enchanted forest, when I saw centaurs for the first time, it stunned me as to how beautiful and graceful and protective they were. And as I got a little friendlier with the centaurs in this forest, or understood the centaurs a little better, the centaurs, one of the most ideal, sexy, fun, most attractive male partners for us is the bad boy gone good, right? How many of us spending time on bad boys trying to make them good? Right? We love our bad boys. Our bad boys are so attractive. There's nothing hotter than a bad boy. And when you have a bad boy gone good, you know that he's going to treat you like a queen for the rest of his life. Because and why do we like these bad boys? Number one, they're extremely physical. You know that you are going to have a good time with a bad boy in bed. So there is always, our pheromones are dancing, their pheromones are dancing, and that's it. No senses apart from that are working. But apart from that, we recognize that what we want is the same guy, but we want him to treat us a little better. We want to feel safer with this guy. We want to feel a little understood by this guy. Like, my God, how would that be? And that is what a centaur is. In perimenopause, and please note the use of the word men in menstruation, menopause, perimenopause, the importance, of course, men means moon technically, from the Latin Greek word this is coming from, but it's men or pause. Peri means around pausing of men. How do you become an empress? Don't become an empress because you're waiting for your bad boy to recognize how amazing you are and validate your worth. You become an empress because you change how you are relating to the bad boy. You change how it is that you want to be treated. Men are a very important player in a very important role, my darlings, in our PMS, in our periods, in our postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is 100% how much the man will not be there to support you after your childbirth. In your perimenopause, in the empty nest syndrome, in menopause, what is going on with the men that has to be paused, reflected on, pondered on, and direction changed? Because the thing is, as we move on to empresses and as the testosterone rises, tell me, my darlings, there's one, I asked you, right? What makes men different? What makes us women? Tell me, what are the amazing things about men as a collective? Like, I will tell you one thing. Men have a sense of entitlement. Men at corporate levels, although it's only been about 50 years since women started entering the workforce, and evolution does not recognize. So 50 years is not even a drop in the ocean. It's the drop of a 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 drop in the ocean. Because in the infinity of time, 50 years means nothing. So evolution has not caught up with us. For men, raises are easier. Asking for their prices are easier. Their sense of entitlement is easier. Their sense of privileges in the world are higher. And when our testosterone starts going up, guess what else is going up? Worth, value, esteem. We have testosterone to thank for this. So in a sense, we have a masculine energy to thank for this, but it is incredible. No empress is going to waste her time on a guy who just wants a booty call. However, a princess might, a queen might. We're still there. That softness is there, that gentleness is there, that hope is there, that finally I will meet my knight in shining armor and we will ride off into the sunset. As empresses, we don't have the time, we don't have the energy, we don't have the bandwidth. Excuse me, we know exactly what we want to prioritize in our day. Is this going to make me feel good? Is this going to make me feel better? Is this of constructive nature to me? And of course, I also want to say this, my darlings. When I say these sentences, I'm also taking it for granted, especially because you're on this call, because you've come from the Decrease group, you've been working with other practitioners, you've come from the Mystic Lotus group, you've been listening to other practitioners, that there is some sense of evolution of maturity. Because this is not about going from the soft victimhoodness to an arrogant tyrant. This is about the evolution of going from queen to empress. It's not about us cracking the whip now. It's not about male bashing. It's not about saying, "Twang, you are not worth my time." It's about knowing this road, I don't want to go down this road anymore. This road where I am happy and I feel uplifted and I feel supported and I feel encouraged and I like hanging out with this guy or this girl, I will do just that. Which is also why in perimenopause and definitely in the first shot of menopause, you are going to be doing only things that you want to do, like binge watching, whatever it is you're binge watching. And thank you, God, for binge watching options. You know, I was like, okay, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, season 4 has happened. Please, God, let there be season 5 and let it come out soon. But I think they've just started shooting for it. However, the Black Lady sketch comedy season 3 is going to be out soon. So guess who's going to be away for at least a couple of days? You will want to do only what you want to do. And some of us may judge ourselves for this. I'm being selfish. I have a family. How can I just sit down and keep eating popcorn and butter and watching this? Look at what's going on to my body. Don't I want to work out? No. You don't want to, because at that time, depending on what has happened with men before, on what has happened with your PMS before, on what has happened with your periods before, you will not be able to control how much you want to do just for yourself. The discipline that is required means You have to heal what began there, my darlings, when you were a princess. No princess who failed in maths is suddenly going to be an empress writing a thesis in calculus. That is not possible. So the journey of the Empress is a very exciting one. It's the most exciting one because at this point in our lives, my lovelies, my darlings, my women, my girls, my boos, my homies, at this point, the conversation and the understanding of value and worth is much simpler than when you explain to a princess. Because when you tell your princess, and all mothers have made this mistake, I don't have a daughter, and I sometimes wonder, what if I had a daughter, what would I say to her? But all mothers have done this because all mothers are queens, whether they're treated like that or not, because we know this about ourselves. We know we were princesses. We know we are queens. So every queen mother has turned to the princess bride and said, he's not a good guy. Princess bride has left the house, eloped with the guy, gone off, miserable, unhappy, but damn it, you cannot hold back from the bad guy. The only time you can do it is when you are entering Empresshood. And the only time you will do it is if you have taken care of all those rubbishness, the nonsenseness, and the deep pain and hurt and yearning and longing for that very guy who can't give you what it is that you are seeking. So my darlings, it will all begin with PMS. And I noticed that I brought in the centaurs. So centaurs, but centaurs, you know what? Let me keep the centaurs for the end. Okay, let me tell you what's showing up on Wednesday. And I think on Wednesday, we have the unicorn. So Wednesday, we have the unicorn. And I will make this much simpler. 1, it's going to be part of your replay. 2, it's going to be part of this call. 3, it's going to be part of the Telegram group. But unicorns. Now, unicorns also have this particular role to play with the body. So you've seen horses, right? So the horse has this kind of big stomach, correct? If you look at this and you've been attracted to the unicorn, just check how your stomach is. Is it feeling a little big? Is it feeling like the underbit of the horse? So magic power interventions, I had to explain. I'm so sorry. I'm not so sorry. I'm so glad that we at least brought the unicorn out. I have to explain the magic power of interventions. When you work with unicorns, or a unicorn is your spirit guide or your totem magical being, and working with you, whether you know this or not, you will find that as things get worse, you are moved away from that situation. Has that happened? Like you're just transported somewhere else. Things are getting worse in this, the company collapses. You don't have to deal with that job anymore. Things are getting worse over here with like your neighbors. You are moved into another city. Things are getting worse at this particular school you're in. You are just taken away from that school and put into another school. Whatever traumas there may be at that time, because saying goodbye to anything, good, bad, ugly, tyrannical, terrible, saying goodbye is always a little hard. But there's always this magical intervention taking place in your life. Check and tell me, is this correct? If you've been attracted to the unicorn, can you tell the times when this has happened? Which is why, because your magical power is this intervention, and not so much your magical power as the magical power around you, you not must and have to, you would do very well with not letting fear rule. Because the magical intervention will come. You will be protected, you will be saved, you will be transported, you will be taken away. Have you noticed this for unicorns? And she says, yes, magic to me now. Absolutely, magic to me now. And I'm going to give you the set of decrees with that, because, oh my God. I did my best. I did my best to make this a very tiny call so that I could tell you everything that I wanted to tell you. So you can see that we've got to do another call. Not only have we got to do another call, which we're going to do on 6th of May, we're going to have the call also, and we're going to have the party also. But we're also going to do quite some work on the full moon, because I want you all to see what happens in full moon and new moon, especially if you've menopause. Because when you menopause, and not that your body has already stabilized, or maybe that has happened for some of us. But the thing is, energetically, your uterus, even though it becomes a little smaller, which is why you can end up having a little bit of weight gain around there, because to make up for the shrinkage that's taking place with the uterus and ovaries, a little bit of fat padding comes there. It's part of your visceral fat. But the fact is, the uterus never stops working. Energetically, you will have PMS, you will have your periods, and you will find, because in the most healthiest of times, when we ate a certain way, when we slept a certain way, when we lived by the light of the sun and the moon, which is we lived in a natural diuretic circadian rhythm, all women would get their periods, would get their menstrual cycle around the new moon or the full moon. If you have the pleasure of being with girlfriends and you all are very close and you all meet very often, this is very important, you'll have to meet often, you will find that your menstrual cycles begin to sync up. Have you noticed this? One of my dearest gay friends, Jay, when we hang out, so there are 3 of us girls and there's Jay. Moment one girl will bring up anything about a period cycle, Jay will be like, oh my God, you too? Like he's also PMSing, and once in a while I'll get a text from him, please do some clearing, babes. I've got my periods. It's like, he doesn't sound like that. It's a text, but I know that's how he's saying it. You start syncing up. And imagine when we lived as a tribe, when we lived together, we synced up with each other as well as the moon. If menopause has taken place, although you are not yet at the throne, you're not yet worn your crown, you are going to have moments of PMS. And you will notice around which it is. Is it the new moon? Is it the full moon? Which is making you feel a little better. And then as that new moon or full moon passes, you start feeling better, meaning you've got your periods. Your periods never stop. They never end. They only change form. So you will continue to get your periods, which also means that what we're going to learn to do about PMS and in PMS and during PMS needs to continue to be applied in Empress phase as well. That in those days, even in those days, PMS, you can leave now. PMS, you can leave now. PMS, you can leave now. And you will see the changes and differences it is making to you. Because whatever took place at menopause time, and yes, I trust and make the intention that everybody got the help and support that they needed, the medicine they needed, the HRT they needed, the topical creams that they needed. But whatever was left pending is going to show up even after physical periods are over. It's going to show up in the PMS and the menopause of the moon cycle of you. So we have to continue that. Therefore, in May, we will have our call, we will have a party, we will have a full moon call, check what's going on, check what needs to be worked on, and definitely we are going to repeat the Apsara curse removal, which is the curse that follows every beautiful woman, every sexy woman, every attractive woman, every woman who remembers being a witch in another life. For every woman who's shown up gorgeous and stunning and hot, she has paid a much bigger price than her counterpart in men. And this is because the Apsaras were the most beautiful, the most talented. They were healers, they were singers, they were dancers, they were painters. And because their role was to break the meditation of saints and sages and kings so that Lord Indra would not be threatened, they were cursed. So on new moon next month in May, we're going to be taking a look at the removal of the Apsara curse. 5 days challenge coming up next week. This 5-day challenge, we will repeat first of every month. We will do it in May, and we will do it in June as well. Is everybody ready for the next decree? And Shilpa, and thank you so much, my girl, and thank you so much for being so prompt and so on the ball that even as I'm changing topic, you are changing and being able to remove the slide from there. Please go ahead and share the other 2 slides on the Telegram group as well. Okay, let's spend a couple of seconds on this. There's the fairy. Okay, fairies. So fairies are always about spreading the lightness and joy. And when fairies do that, like fairies like to give, fairies like to share. When fairies continue to do this, they deplete themselves. And when they deplete themselves, depletion is no fuel in the engine, but you're turning the ignition key. So body is going, right? You get cranky, you get stressed out, you get negative. But for a fairy, very difficult to acknowledge the negatives. So the fairy would rather do the pressure cooker syndrome. Fine, there is the negativity, but let me put the positivity on top of it. It's not a big deal. This happens to everybody. I mean, I know that's how they are. That's just how they're going to behave. It's all right. I'm okay. The fairy will do this till the fairy's wings explode and the fairy crashes. For the fairy, it is very important that you not be afraid of the dark. Fairies don't come out at night. Actually, they do come out at night in very specific places, but fairies don't like the dark. And they don't like negativity in themselves or in others. Fairies will do their best to put fairy dust and angel dust on everything. They will always try and be the peacemaker. They will always try and say, it's okay, it's okay. They will always try to calm ruffled feathers. But their own, because the fairy has not realized what all they are dealing with. The fairy doesn't realize that the darkness and the negativity that she is carrying or he is carrying is also what is making her give up her wings and succumb to depression. Fairies get depressed very easily, but fairies don't know they're depressed because they're so busy, right? They're so busy moving around with their magic wand and their little gold showers. So fairies very rarely realize their own negativity. So people, if you need the fairy or you're attracted to the fairy, please, your magical power is to bring joy and lightness in the world. And for you to do that, you must take care of the clouds that hide your own sun. And the last one is the mermaid. Oh, the mermaid. We all have one mermaid in our family. And the mermaid is the one who is, the mermaid is that one. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. You all don't listen to me. All my life, I have done so much for you. Like there is a deep, deep sense of not being understood. Like you all don't understand my value. You all don't see what I'm doing. You know, the mermaid can be a drama queen. The mermaid she's that one. You know, the mermaid can get very badly stuck in the exact same story for years at an end. And of course, mermaids also have to do with water. If you like water, your gift is to ride the waves. And riding the waves means you don't get hung up on one wave. That you find the various waves of life. That you switch from the anxious wave to the weepy wave, to the happy wave, to the angry wave, to the self-worth lecturer wave. The shift from wave to wave, sometimes you dive into the ocean and you rest at the bottom of the seabed, knowing that everything is being taken care of. If you are attracted to the mermaid or you need the mermaid, chances are that there is one particular story that is just completely ruining your magic and your power at this particular time. You'll have to give me 1 minute, my darlings, 1 minute. Thank you. And I hope everybody took advantage of those few seconds and had some water for yourselves. So magical realms, how do you bring in this magical realm? And please let us know, what are we going to do with the centaurs? When am I meeting my centaur? Where's this centaur? Okay. First of all, let me give you the advanced decree. And when I say advanced decree, because it's very exciting to be advanced, you will want to use this decree. But if you're new to the decrees, use the previous one. Like PMS, you can leave now. Work with it for a while. Work with it for all of April. I asked for at least 3 weeks to work with the decrees. Just get used to what you can leave now is doing for you. But here's the advanced one. Ready? Cheers. Everybody's hydrated? And I'm going to go to PMS, and I'm going to go to peri-menopause, and I'm going to go to menopause, and I'm also going to do postpartum depression. Ready? So I'm going to do it 3 times, and it's only 1 word. But my God, it's advanced. A couple of, maybe about 1.5 years back, on a new moon call, I think it was, I did use this. And not after that, because it was still growing, still developing. And I could see, and again, why advanced decrees, my darlings? Can anybody quickly tell me why advanced decrees? Why today advanced decree? When we have new people, they're hearing about the decrees for the first time. Why advanced decrees? Oh my chat is like somewhere up there. So let me scroll down to the latest.
Nidhu, Dr. Radha said we are ascending. Mehak says it's new moon today. And again, Radha said ascending rapidly from 3D. And new cycle beginning, advanced time, advanced energies. Yeah.
Super. Because Empress, she is advanced. And yes, absolutely. New moon today, the happy feminine energy today, rapidly ascending from 3D into 5D. Absolutely. Empress. The Empress knows what to do with this advanced decree. If you're very new to the decree, like in decree terms, if you're a princess, then you may have some discomfort with this decree tomorrow, day after. But my God, just receive the decree. Okay, everybody, feet uncrossed. And the decree is in the understanding of how everything we know, we have learned. We have learned from our mothers, we have learned from our fathers. When we are princesses and queens, our body imitates our mother's story. When we start moving to the Empress, because remember, testosterone is going up, our lives and body start imitating the father's story. Point is, everything is learned. We learned it in another life. We learned it in our childhood. We learned it in school. We learned it at work. We learned it in our healing workshops. Everything we know, we have been taught. So how about we unlearn? Hear me on the decree usage. Unlearn PMS. Unlearn PMS. Unlearn PMS. Unlearn postpartum depression. Unlearn postpartum depression. Unlearn postpartum depression. Unlearn cesarean operations. Unlearn cesarean operations. Unlearn cesarean operations. Unlearn perimenopause. Unlearn perimenopause, unlearn perimenopause, unlearn menopause, unlearn menopause, unlearn menopause. How are you feeling? Have some water. Because for a woman, the body is so crucial, because through the body we have children, and this is the one thing that makes us different from men. The validation of the body for the Empress takes on a slightly different color. Not that she does not seek that validation, but she seeks the validation from an evolved man. Not that the princess, the queen, has to give up on this validation, but the association of menopause and perimenopause with aging, lack of fertility, our usefulness because we are not able to be mothers anymore, our value and worth because our bodies are not giving off pheromones and driving bad boys crazy anymore, although they still do to some extent, because remember, my darlings, energetically, we're still having our periods. So there is some amount of pheromones still going there, some amount, somewhere in some corner, one bad boy is waking up and saying, I know that there's somebody waiting for me out there. All the associations that we have with PMS. Maybe it was horrible for you. Maybe it was easy for you. What if it was easy for you? Maybe you had sympathy and support. Maybe you didn't have sympathy and support. What if you did have sympathy and support? Maybe your maybe your pregnancy was easy. Maybe it was not easy. Maybe your delivery was easy. Maybe it was unlearn childbirth. Unlearn childbirth. Unlearn childbirth. What this does is that all the learnings you have, all the stories you have formed, all the associations you have attached, all the meanings you have put to it, all of that goes away, whoever taught it to you. Unlearn fears, unlearn anger, unlearn sadness, unlearn depression, unlearn grief, unlearn criticism, unlearn trauma, unlearn pain, unlearn judgments, unlearn heartache, unlearn heartbreak, unlearn aches, unlearn stiffness, unlearn bone loss, unlearn osteoporosis, unlearn imbalance, unlearn unsafe, unlearn unprotected, unlearn ungrounded, unlearn unstable. How are we doing? Sometimes I forget that we have some new people. How are we doing? Bianca says, root chakra is warm, entire body is vibrating, says Shruti, tingling, it's awesome. Isn't it awesome? Isn't it amazing? We're rewriting the script because once we've unlearned, now that page is yours. Now that pen is yours. You will write your new story. You need not mimic, imitate, carry, copy any of these stories from your mother, your father, your family, your ancestors, your past lives, from society, from community, from your culture. You will write the story. In the age of Aquarius, one size cannot fit all. And while our stories will be different, their value and worth will be the same. I want to be treated well. I want to be spoken to nicely. I want to be heard when I have something to say. I want my experience to count for something. I want your full undivided attention when I'm talking to you about the house and the children and the maid and the accounts. I want to feel safe, heard, understood, loved, cared for, princess, queen, empress. That is our story. On 6th, we are going to take a pledge. And we're going to take this, which is why you have to wear your crowns, my darling. You have to come with your tiara. You have to come with your headpiece. You have to come. If you can get a sash, please get your sash. Please wear your heels, even if they're kitten heels. Whatever the slight, small, just come as best as you can. Body, belly is protruding. Hips are expanding. Don't even ask about the bum. Wear what you know you want to wear. You want to wear a bikini, you wear a bikini. Because when you come and we have this party, a little bit of class, but we're going to take a pledge. We're going to take a pledge to our bodies. And we're going to take a pledge to our hearts. We're going to take a pledge to our minds. But most of all, we are going to send so much love and so much compassion and so much kindness and sympathy and support to all the princesses we have been. Because she didn't know, but we do. And because this is the beauty of the lifetime we live in, where we have access to every dimension and timeline, we are going to send back to her everything that we can, including ice cream or whatever it is that she needs. For me, it was always some sort of carb. I love my Maggi noodles in this time, and I don't know how much cake I would eat. And just by the way, everybody who still has PMS, please let me give you this secret. As far as I know, I'm the only one who's ever told her friends this. You can eat anything you want in PMS. In the first 2 days of periods, it will be digested. Eat whatever you want, and it will be taken care of. It is amazing. It is amazing. Oh, wait, am I getting PMS? Am I getting PMS? It's like, when is my PMS? What is this? In 3 hours, I've got my period. I could have eaten more. Like, it is just incredible. Enjoy your PMS like crazy. Sleep with your teddy bear, curl up with your pillow, weep buckets, write long letters to your ex, but don't call him. Whatever you want to do, just complete. You want a pity party, you have a pity party in your PMS. And eat whatever you want, watch whatever you want. In 2 days of your periods, everything will be like it didn't happen. It's just, our periods are so gorgeous, our PMS is so beautiful. Awesome. Magical activations. Now you see how you feel. I'm going to do all five of them. And there is a set of 3 for the magical activations. And maybe you would like to do over the weekend only the ones that you are drawn to, the magical beings that you're drawn to. But next week, remember, all of us are going to practice with all 5. And everybody's invited. Everybody's invited for that. Everybody's invited for the 6th May call. Everything we do around, behind and beyond that, there is an investment that is going to come up soon. Let me give you the magical activations. Let me tell you what we're going to be doing with our good boys from the bad boys, the centaurs. Okay. Number 1, please close your eyes, everybody. I'm going to start with the phoenix. Phoenix light, Phoenix magic light. Phoenix light activated, activated, activated. Superb, what a loud sound, that went so well. Phoenix magic light activated, activated, activated. Touch Phoenix with trust. Touch Phoenix with trust. Touch Phoenix with trust. Phoenix magic begun. Phoenix magic begun. Phoenix magic begun. Unicorn, light. Unicorn, magic light. Unicorn light activated. Unicorn light activated. Unicorn light activated. Unicorn magic light activated. Unicorn magic light activated. Unicorn magic light activated. Touch unicorn with trust. Touch unicorn with trust. Touch unicorn with trust. Unicorn magic begun now. Unicorn magic begun now. Unicorn magic begun now. Fairy light, fairy magic light. Fairy light activated. Fairy magic light activated. Fairy magic light activated. Fairy light activated. Fairy magic light activated. Fairy light activated. Touch fairy with trust. Touch fairy with trust. Touch fairy with trust. Fairy magic begun now. Fairy magic begun now. Fairy magic begun now. Mermaid light. Mermaid magic light. Mermaid light. Mermaid magic light. Mermaid light. Mermaid magic light. Mermaid light activated. 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 Mermaid magic light activated. Mermaid magic light activated. Mermaid magic light activated. Touch mermaid with trust. Touch mermaid with trust. Touch mermaid with trust. Mermaid magic begun now. Mermaid magic begun now. Mermaid magic begun now. Dragon magic light, dragon light, dragon light, dragon light, dragon magic light, dragon light, dragon magic light, dragon light activated, dragon light activated, dragon light activated, dragon magic light activated, dragon magic light activated, dragon magic light activated. Touch dragon with trust. Touch dragon with trust. Touch dragon with trust. Dragon magic begun now. Dragon magic begun now. Dragon magic begun now. How are we doing? How are you feeling? Did we get all 5 of them in? Can somebody confirm? Like, I feel like I left the mermaids out. Did I leave the mermaids out? No, right? Well, if it does get left out, I will just record it and send it. How are we doing? Especially the ones that you felt most connected to. How did it make you feel to hear and receive the activation of their magic? So Serene says, Gulpreet. Susan says, I think it was the fairy. Did I leave out fairy? Did I leave out fairy? Well, I'll just do it again.
No, you said fairy, Nidhu.
I did say
even though I was deeply lost in it, and I actually don't recall if you missed anything, but I heard fairy.
Great. Because
and Tejapriya said that you said parole. She's just written it in.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
Super. Super. Of course, we've not yet done it with the centaurs. Women, see how this makes you feel. Everybody hydrate, please. Centaur magic. Centaur magic light. Centaur magic. activated. Centaur magic light, activated. Centaur magic, Centaur magic light, Centaur magic, Centaur light, Centaur magic light, Centaur light, activated. Centaur magic light, activated. Touch Centaur with trust. Touch Centaur with trust. Touch Centaur with trust. Centaur magic begun now. Centaur magic begun now. Centaur magic begun now. Keep your eyes closed. Know that these magical realms, energies, frequencies, dimensions, they do not interfere, nor will they disrupt your regular relationships that are taking place here. But especially for those who don't have a relationship at this point and are looking for one, I want you to journey with me into a very shaded, gladed, bluish, greenish forest. It is a new moon and it is dark, but in the distance here and there, you can see the light. You hear rustling and you look around, where's the sound coming from, but you are not afraid. There is a lamp in your hand. You are covered in a robe, which is not just for your protection, but also for your warmth. You have been called here. You have been asked to be here. You choose your centaur, but your centaur also chooses you. He comes for your strength. He comes for your protection. He comes to make sure that there is romance, that there is seduction, that there is flirtation in your life. He's a sexy beast. He's half man and half horse, and that doesn't bother you at all. You get a little excited, so you start walking faster, 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 and in the distance, it's as though your time is the time of the night moving towards the day. In the distance, you can see the first ray of sunshine. You hurry towards it. And just this side is the night, and that side is the first fresh ray of sun. You stop just a little before that. And in the distance, with enough light, but they are in the night side, you see that there are quite a few centaurs. Not all of them are visible. You just sense that they are there. Some of them are close to each other in a group. Some of them are a little apart. You are absolutely safe. You know that they are here because they want to love you. They want to care for you. They want to treat you so good in ways that you haven't been treated by men that you have known. They are not predators. They are the opposite of that. And slowly, one of them starts separating from the others and starts coming towards you. You hesitate, but you take a step. His walk is confident, is strong. He knows you're the one that he wants. He starts coming closer, and you see that he is strong in the way that you like strength. You see his face. It has beautiful skin. It has hair the way you like. He's in front of you. And by God, you were not prepared about how tall and big he was going to be. But you like that. You like it when they're a little taller and they're a little bigger. He puts out his hand. Maybe you're nervous, you can leave now. Maybe you're excited, you can increase now. Maybe you're wondering what you've signed up for. But you know tonight's not the night for self-doubt and those questions. After all, the new moon will leave soon and it will be daylight. And before that, both of you all must move to another part of the forest where he has his house, his own river, his own backyard, his own stables, his own farmhouse. You must go there before the sun comes up. Because when the sun comes up, he likes to be indoors. You put your hand in his, and whoosh, he swings you around, and now you are back on his back, which is a horseback. Should you put your hand on his shoulders? Are you even comfortable to touch him? Should you put your arm around his waist? These decisions are yours, and they need not be made right now. Take your time. Maybe your centaur will tell you how he is most comfortable. Maybe you are just going to tighten your thighs on the back and say, I can manage. However it is, you'll start making your way to that particular house in the woods. Slowly, 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 little faster, until he's galloping. Your bonnet, your cape, your hood is flying back, your hair is in the wind, and you're passing trees and sounds and deers and bears and lions and tigers, and it's going faster and faster and faster until he hits the first ray of sun. And in front of you, you see the house, you see the garden. You disembark, and the rest is your story to take forward on your own. Remember your centaur anytime you want. He will surprise you. He will surprise you with a wine and cheese picnic. He will surprise you with his skill in carpentry. He will surprise you every time. At some point when you're ready, tell him your name and ask him his. And take your time. And when you return saying yes to the challenge next week. It's open to all on Facebook, on the Telegram group. It is for those who are investing in the package, where you will be reminded every day. You will be reminded with the magic decrees to speak and connect with your magical element. You will also be given that particular day's unlearning, and you will be given the next advanced level of what's going on, which is, and I see that some of you all are hesitating to leave your centaur and be here completely. So close your eyes, my darlings, be with your centaur, leave a little bit of your hearing with me. And the decree, the other decree, is brand new, fresh body. The decree is brand new, fresh. Brand new, fresh body. Brand new, fresh body. Brand new, fresh relationships. Brand new, fresh relationships. Brand new, fresh relationships. Brand new, fresh chakra system. Brand new, fresh chakra system. Brand new, fresh chakra system. Brand new, fresh skin and hair. Brand new, fresh skin and hair. Brand new, fresh skin and hair. Brand new, fresh friendships. Brand new, fresh friendships. Brand new, fresh friendships. Brand new, fresh opportunities. Brand new, fresh opportunities. Brand new, fresh opportunities. Brand new, fresh life. Brand new, fresh life. Brand new, fresh life. And stay wherever you are right now, but in your head, answer me this. Who's coming along for the ride? Who's coming along to be an empress? Who's coming along to unlearn? And who's coming along for some brand new, fresh, healing energies, frequencies, relationships, love, money, health, body? Let me tell you how easy it is. You will have the option of just coming along for May, but come along for June as well, my darlings. In June, we're doing slightly lesser work. We're definitely meeting on the first Friday, but we're also going to be doing sacral massages. Sacral massages will happen on the Thursday after the first Friday. First Fridays, we have a date, my lovelies. First Fridays, we get together, take a look as to what's going on. Second Thursday, sacral massage, 6 p.m. IST. Take a break the next week. Next Thursday, another sacral massage. 2 sacral massages a month. 1 call in June. 3 calls in May. Next sacral massage coming up next Thursday, open to all. And all of this, along with tips, suggestions, essential oils, best that you can do at this time. Maybe you all will have something to share as well on the Facebook group and the Telegram group. Provided you've used it, it's worked for you. Brand new decrees, not every day, but definitely for the next 5 days when we do our challenge, and then throughout the month to stay in touch with unlearn and brand new. Because when it's unlearned, you have made the place and space for brand new. And all of this, if you take both months, is only rupees 5,500 or USD 77. And if you say, May sounds better, then take just May. And May is just for rupees 4,400. And I think 66 or 44 USD. The Empress within, awakening the Empress within, is a club. And right now, we're going to see how this club evolves, which is why it's only for May and June. Because obviously, as a club and as part of what we're doing together as women, it is not enough that we got together just one time. It is not enough that we spoke or discussed or shared just one time. We have many things that we know. We have many things we're not realizing that we are learning as we are going along. So I want to do much more with this club, but let us see over these 2 months what happens, what changes for us, how our bodies are responding, what are we doing in perimenopause that's making it quicker, faster, easier, simpler. If we are already in menopause, but the first couple of years, let's see what this is doing to our cellulite. Let us see what this is doing to our graying hair. Let us see how we are responding to that. Let us see what it is doing to the nature of our skin and the quality of our nails. Let's take a look at everything that this brings up. You know this, I know this. The conversation on what's going on with women, with women's bodies, with women's periods, with women and men. Oh my, this is a long-term conversation. And because we know that the future is divine feminine, and the future beyond that is a balance of divine feminine and divine masculine, which we will reach very quickly, because unlike men who need the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are perfectly capable of seeing the big picture and knowing that the harmony and utopia of our lives is in the balance. We love our men, we love being women. How can we have both together, co-creating lives and paths? And this is the presentation that will take you through the details of the package. So I'm just going to run through it, which is the Empress Born, and the Telegram group is called the Empress Born. The Facebook group is called the Awakening the Empress Within. There's package A, which is April and May. April is open to all, but if you're not on the Telegram group, you don't get as many decrees. So April, May, 2 beautiful months, 3 sacral massages. Oh, thank you. 3, so April and May, 5 calls, 3 sacral massages, decrees, tips, reminders to do the 5-day magic, because you're going to repeat it in May, the first week of May. We're going to repeat it in the first week of June. We don't need to do it beyond that unless it crosses our mind. You know how that is, right? Like when you suddenly remember something, it means there's a message in it. But otherwise, once we've done it for these 5 days, because every day there is a number assigned to the particular magical creature. So we will give the activations for that day with the magical being, and that's it. Once we finish those 5 days, we're done for the month. How cool is that, right? On the Telegram group, we will do many more decrees. On the Telegram group, we will have daily reminders in May, daily reminders in June. When I say daily reminders, I mean for the first 5 days. On Facebook, that group is open to all. Please feel free to invite your girlfriends, your mothers, your sisters, your aunts, your grandmothers, your ancestors, your neighbors. Please call everybody in. Over there, your reminder will be just once. We'll just remind you at the end of a month that, hey, you got the next 5 days coming up. So on Telegram, where we will be speaking much more, where we'll be interacting much more, where we will be closer on Telegram, that automatically gets included in your package. And all of this is only for 5,500 or USD 77. It includes April, it includes May, it includes June. And if you want to do just May, because April you are getting, you can do it for just 4,400 and USD 60 instead of rupees 7,700. But now I'm just reading out from here, which you can see as well. Who's in? I want you to let me know. I am proud to be Empress, or proud to be Queen, proud to be Princess. I'm in. Thank you, thank you. Package B is rupees 5,500, which includes June, includes May, and we're definitely getting together in April. Who's coming in, my darlings? I can't wait for you to be in a group that says the Empress Born. Like when I wrote that, I was like, my gosh, this is truly the Empress Born. Like words can make such a big difference, right? Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Our hosts on our Tele Summit always let you know, but yes, please make all payments only through the links provided. You know, we're a little strict about this because we have to otherwise pay extra when you're using other links or asking to use other links. Oh yes, representatives, you're going to increase the mass now. Awesome. Awesome. Even if you're princess, because you know that your ultimate goal is this, right? It's exactly like how it is anywhere. You join, you're an officer, then you become a manager, then you become a senior manager, then you become a general manager, then you become a senior general manager. I think I just made that up. You become vice president, then you become senior vice president, then you become president, then you become board of directors, then you become CEO of your own company, right? It's exactly like that. When you know you're headed to Empress, you will automatically start making different choices in where you are today. You know, our mothers, and God bless our mothers, and God bless our grandmothers, and God bless their good health. You know, they never really spoke about these things, right? You know, like it was just taken for granted. This is just something that happens. This is just something that you have to go through, and you go through it. Like I remember vaguely my mother saying something one time, but I can't remember what she said. And she never spoke about it again. She never spoke about it again. And it's like that in that conversation where I don't even know if I would have had the knowledge or the maturity to have been supportive or been there for her. But we can be there for each other. And we can be there for our daughters. And then our daughters can be there for their daughters. Because we then, as empresses, will have more authority over how our daughters are behaving with their daughters and, of course, with our own granddaughters. For this lineage that we are starting today, that we didn't even know we were a part of, I thank you so much for joining me. I love spending time with you. And I realized today, because I think this is the first time I've done an all-girls call, or maybe if I've done one, I've done it 100 years ago, but it was absolutely incredible. And this reminds me of another very big difference between men and women. For women, it's all about everybody. For men, it's usually about themselves. And which is not to say that that's a bad thing. That is how they have been designed. They are our magnetic opposite. But this, where all of us, we always think about each other, right? We always have the sense of family and community. Everything you give a woman, she will make greater. If you give her sperm, she will give you a baby. If you give her groceries, she will give you a meal. If you give her a house, she will give you a home. So if you give her a lot of shit, be prepared for a ton of crap. And this was said by, somebody has to remind me who said it. It was originally said by William Goulding in the 1950s, but he only mentioned a couple of these lines. And then there was this other writer, he's a Black writer, who then took this over and gave us this whole particular sentence, that everything you give a woman, she will make greater. You cannot say that about a man. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I thank you very much, my lovelies, for showing up and making this call greater. I look forward to seeing you on the group, and I look forward to chatting with you all on the Telegram group. Ask me anything, and definitely let me know how you felt when you checked out your particular reading for the dragon and the fairy and the phoenix. Did it make sense to you? Did it resonate with you? And at the same time, did you enjoy the activation? Oh, you have to let me know how the next 24 hours are. Whether it's in your relationships or whether it's in opportunities or unexpected monies, let me know how it is. Big love. Big hug. And namaste from India.